Hey guys, okay, so I guess before I get soil in here, I'm gonna have to put some hay down, same as I did out here, cardboard hay, to try and suppress that as much as we can, and then I'll make some nice rows of compost over top of it. So I guess it's hay day. Hay day? It's hay day. Okay, so just something a little interesting for those of you that don't deal with this. This is snow mold. So it's just a little thin layer of mold that grows underneath the snow, and it seems to do quite well. It's a huge springtime allergen over here. I mean, my nose is running like crazy. But whatever, if you've never seen snow mold, now you have. You're welcome. All right. Whew, this old boy's getting tired. All right, I got hay stuff all over my boots. I splashed myself with some fairly stagnant water. Filthy. Couldn't be happier. All right, so I'm up here. If you followed along with me last year, this was the field of rocks that I planted potatoes in. And as you can see, like literally, like clover's coming back. This is all dyed back thistle. That'll be joining the fray soon. It's actually quite a bit of green in here for the snow having just left. Mostly clover at this point, which, you know, it's a nitrogen fixer and all the rest of it. But it's all the rest of the stuff in there that, you know, whatever. It's just not going to do for me. So I picture this area here because it is so rocky and so devoid of nutrients. It's clay and rock rich, so I think I'm going to cover it over so I don't have weed issues, and then I'm going to duplicate, I think, the bales over here, and at the very least it's going to allow me year after year to build soil from the bales, composting but okay. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is attempt to maneuver this 50 by 50 and get this area here covered up.
Okay, even though you guys see some snow on the ground, it's a beautiful day. I think it was like 8 degrees Celsius, so as far as I'm concerned, that is shorts and t-shirt weather. And especially when you're working, you know, I mean, it doesn't take an awful lot to put a sweat on. So I'm just overlapping these here so that, you know, one piece of lumber, a bunch of rocks can be holding down two things. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I had to walk up and down that hill a million times with pieces of wood to hold this thing down, though.
All right, hey folks, what is it with hay today? Okay, so it's hay day, got the hay in the greenhouses, and then I thought I might as well show you my hay bales that I'm getting set up this year. Check it out. I know it doesn't look very straight from here because it isn't, but, you know, if you come down this backside here, I do have a string strung. I did a bunch of work in the winter. I might throw some clips in. There's a couple of boxes leaning. As soon as that snow melts, they'll settle back down. Not bad, not bad. Anyways, as you may have picked up on, the prevailing theme in my little operation here is, you know, no budget is like my favorite price. This is all, besides the hay bales, I mean, this is all free. Just snagged pallets and, what did I cut them? What are those things? I think they're 18 inches. 18 inches high and 15 wide, and about a pallet, right? 36 inches. So I've got 18 of them here. I'm just finishing up the last box. They were sitting out in the field all winter. Something had a very nice warm winter in that one. Aww. Right. All right. Now I'm going to direct a question here at Mr. CB. From CB's Greenhouse and Gardens, just simply because he's the only reason why I'm doing this. So I'll let you take a look at these bales, man. I don't know if these are decomposed sort of enough to put some top dressing on and to plant into in a month or two, but you know, some of them are looking pretty pretty broken down and pretty black, you know, and then there's other parts that, you know, that doesn't look like anything's been touched. So I'd like your opinion. And throughout the year, friends of mine, if you're following me on this little journey, you can ask me whatever questions you like, but if it is regarding straw bale, hay bale growing, if you could kindly direct them CB's way, either in the comment section or email them over to his channel's an option. I mean, all I'm going to do if I answer your question is call him to get the right answer. So don't ask me stuff about these, but I'll show them to you all year. I'll let you know what's going on with them. So, but yeah, I figure I needed a spot for squash, and I was thinking winter squash can squirrel off that way. I mean, all that is grass over there. That's not that big a deal. And then I can maybe split like a winter squash with a summer squash, a zucchini, or a patty pan, because they'll kind of puff out like that, whereas the other ones, leaves are gaining solar energy out that way. So that was kind of my thought. Another thing that I liked about this is, you know, the way the whole thing works is that's your brown component of compost, so you need to add green, right? So you're either waiting lots of time for nature to break it down, or you're going to add nitrogen and break it down quicker. So once they're broken down and conditioned, from my understanding, I mean, you just have to water them. So there's nothing else that you have to do. And I have a lot to do, so I figured, well, this is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, and it works for tons of people. CB just happens to be the one that I know that really kicks butt with this. So here we go. The bale experiment is underway. I got one more side here left to put on, and my last bale of 18 to pop in. So whatever. Stay tuned this year, and we'll see how the bales do. All right. Okay, so this area isn't looking too bad. That's got to get thawed from the ground there before I can pull that straight. But all right, folks. So this area right here is the top of the hill. So I picture here, I don't know what I picture is actually a 5,000 gallon tank. You know, nice little stand. And then from here, it's all downhill, right? So there is a realistic chance that, you know, if power goes out or if I don't happen to get power, I might be able to do a lot of this just with gravity feed. We shall see. But anyway, I guess the bottom line is I don't want all these weeds coming back in here. So again, got these areas done. And then this area over here, beside the bales, this is where my potatoes were last year. And I think I had, well, I don't know how many rows I had. 1, 2, 10. Yeah, 10 rows. I harvested a couple from over here and they were scabby. And I went into the middle and I harvested 1 or 2 plants and they were scabby. And I went over to the other end and they were scabby. And nothing's been growing in here, so it can't be this, you know, mysterious bacteria that follows Ryan around everywhere I grow. It has got more to do with the fact that it is so dry here. So I will solve that next time by using irrigation, obviously. I mean, if it rained, it rained. They got a drink. If it didn't, they didn't. So anyway, needless to say, I kind of lost my attitude. I was like, well, why am I going to dig all this up, backbreaking work to have another scabby potato haul? So I got all jelly belly of all the Brits doing their overwintered potatoes. So here you go. Here's my overwintered potatoes. I'm not going to wait for them to sprout, even though I know some of them will, because that's the nature of potatoes. I got that big old tarp over there, and I'm going to tarp this area under. This does not have cardboard. This only has hay, and the thistle in this area was brutal. So anyway, give me a second, and I'll get this all stretched out.
All right, I think this tarp is a 50 by 50. So if I remember correctly, this should fit that potato patch perfectly. I'm really happy that I folded it up using a bit of common sense. It was much easier for me to to do this by myself. I mean, I know last year there was a a couple of us hauling these things around and moving them here and there, and let me tell you, bit of a pain in the ass when it's just a solo mission. But oh well, such is my life.
Oh, great tune. Where it began. Oh, get to karaoke all day. All right. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Covered up now. I think it looks better. I did that for a couple of reasons. I have 22 rows up to the plastic. Based on my plan, I'm going to need to turn these into rows as well, which really isn't that big a deal. Now, I did say that the cardboard and hay stopped right here. So this is just hay and potatoes. And those thistles had no problems coming up there last year. So until I have the means to deal with that, i.e. financial means, like hay isn't free, I can start storing up cardboard and getting that to lay down over that area. And then I need to get compost, and I need to get a lot of compost because each one of these beds is going to need to be made just like these ones are. So for that, I'm waiting on the ground to harden up a little bit and dry out, because if I have a truck come in here with 12 yards, it won't be getting out of here. So another reason why I did this over here, forgive me if my nose is wrong. Another reason that I did this over here, I think, is psychological. Like this area kicked my ass mentally last year. Like it wasn't great. So the last thing I want to see is stuff coming up when I'm trying to work somewhere else, because I know it gets me. I absolutely know it. So this is going on. It's going to deprive it of any light and most moisture until I can get this all cardboarded and hayed up, and then put the compost on it and get my rows made. So there we go. So we're tarped off here. We're tarped off in the middle. We're tarped off on the far side. So again, water tank up there. I picture some hay bales, 3 or 4 rows of hay bales there. I actually picture another row of hay bales here about 3-4 feet in all the way along. Again, it's just gonna have to depend if I can get my hands on some hay or not. So there we go. It's looking good. I don't know if I'm gonna get a start on my little seating area, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna need to see if I can borrow a trailer or something to go pick up some 16-foot long wood. So anyway, stick with me. All right, well, instead of moving these couple of pallets, I might as well make another compost bin. I'll need it eventually. But I had this bin up to here twice with comfrey, and that is what's left. I would say maybe there's a foot, and I think I threw some ash on top of there as well. There's a bunch of my leaves, and then this was, what was that? I guess just my tomatoes and such. That'll sit there for a few years. I don't plan on using that anytime too soon, but might as well see if I can just quickly spud together. I mean, they're sitting right there. So, whatever. Here we go.
Super simple process. I think it took like 4 screws to hold these together. Not rocket science here, folks, but I guarantee I'll probably end up having 10 or 12 of these running up that side of the farm. Those trees that you see right there are on the east side, so this part gets no morning sun and just the brutal hot afternoon sun. So I didn't really feel like putting any crops there.
Alrighty, so I got some of the hay spread out. I got 2 bales out of the 10 that I put in here spread out. So I'm really hoping that there's a chance that I can 5 and 5 and I actually have enough hay for both greenhouses. I'll get on that tomorrow morning first thing. I'm a little bagged. We scooted down to the little mill, sawmill that's just down the road, and picked up, what did we pick up? 12 rough cut 2x6 by 16 feet. And I ripped a whole bunch of them with a bit of help in half. So that is going to be for the seating tables for tomorrow. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for following along if you have. I'm a little dormant in the winter, but I have a ton of stuff going on right now. I might be putting out videos a little bit more often than normal. If it's too much, You know, like, I know William's gonna pick 1 or 2 a week to watch. No big deal, I totally get it. It's just, I seldom have this much stuff going on. So you might be seeing a few more videos from me, just on what's going on when there's changes. And as soon as I get a paying job, a working renovations job, I'm not gonna be able to be here. So there's definitely gonna be times when, you know, not much is going on. But when there is, I figured I'd record it. So anyway, have a great night. Tomorrow's seating table day. Bye.